Oh, look, everyone, it's Peppa and George. Hello, Peppa. Hello, George.
George, did you know that our friend Penny Polar Bear has two mummies? We should invite them round to jump in muddy puddles.
And that is what Peppa Pig would be like if it was voiced entirely by someone with a Middlesbrough accent. Hello, my name is Morganicky, or Dixie if you prefer. If you've never ever seen any of my videos before, I normally do video game related content. I'm also a pansexual, and I am in a long-term relationship with my fiancée, Shelley. If any of those things are relevant at all to this discussion, which I personally don't think they are. I'm also 30 years old and I absolutely love Peppa Pig, like any good British citizen should. Hence why I have an anti-pig t-shirt, because I am an auntie to a nephew and a niece. Though personally I would spell auntie with an I and an E, but that's how the character spells it. Anyway, you may have seen a lot of things on Google News, Twitter, Facebook, etc. about a lot of people who are very upset about Peppa Pig due to an episode called Families, in which there is a character called Penny Polar Bear, and it is revealed that her parents are a same-sex lesbian couple. Personally, I think this is absolutely amazing. It is awesome, and it is a step in the right direction. It is not pandering, it is representation. 7% of the people in the United Kingdom are lesbian, gay, or bisexual. 7%. And that is the same percentage of people who are British Asian. It's also the amount of people who use electronic cigarettes. 7%. It's not a tiny percentage. It's relatively important. You will know someone in your life who is gay, who is lesbian, who is bisexual, who is pansexual like me, who is some letter on the LGBT community, if you like. What people are failing to realise about this episode, seriously, people are getting really pissed off about a literally 10-second clip, if I can show it and not get copyright striked.
I'm Penny Polar Bear. I live with my mummy and my other mummy. One mummy is a doctor and one mummy cooks spaghetti. I love spaghetti.
Lovely, Penny.
Literally all she says. One mummy is a doctor, one mummy cooks spaghetti, I love spaghetti. So presumably this mummy works from home, unemployed, housewife, could have any job, but she does the cooking and she cooks spaghetti. And yeah, that's like really evil, isn't it? Indoctrinating children to want to become doctors and cook spaghetti. What people are failing to realise about this cartoon is it is representing all different types of families. Madame Gazelle says she lives alone. And that's teaching kids that it's perfectly fine as an adult to be on your own. She may not have married. She may not be interested in marrying or having a partner. She may be a widow. All of these things are perfectly normal and they're perfectly fine. She also mentions that she plays music with her sisters. So it's perfectly fine to be an adult and still have a good relationship with your siblings. She doesn't mention having any parents, because presumably, due to the way that she's drawn with like wavy lines around her head, this is how in Peppa Pig they draw characters who tend to be older, like the grandpas and the grandma characters. They're potentially dead, so she doesn't have any parents presumably. Also normal, also fine. And we go to Susie Sheep, who is a single parent family. She lives with her mummy. She doesn't mention a daddy. She doesn't mention any brothers or sisters. It is just her and her mother. And that's fine. Later in the episode as well, there's Freddie Fox, presumably another single parent family. I don't remember there being a mummy fox, I may be wrong. But he's a single father. He's also a bit dodgy. I don't know, he's a bit dodgy. He's obviously a fence or some sort of, like, dodgy goods dealer. But regardless, Freddie Fox idolises him. He wants to be just like his daddy. And that's fine. Rebecca Rabbit. She has a very big family, but it points out specifically that they live in a hill, where all of the other characters in the Peppa Pig world live in houses. So this is teaching children that it's fine, not everyone lives in a house. You could live in a flat. You could live in a caravan. You could live in a boat. You could live in anything. Not everyone lives in a house. Everyone is different. It is normal. It is fine. And if you are a rabbit, you'll live in a hill. Some other ones they're in there, not specifically related to the family dynamics themselves. There is Mandy Mouse, which is a nice representation of a character with disabilities. A little wheelchair there. And there's Pedro Pony, the character who wears glasses and talks about how his father wears glasses and his mother wears contact lenses. Perfectly normal, perfectly fine. And it finishes with Peppa talking about Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig and George. And it ends on a relatively pleasant high note. The fact that people are getting up in arms over 10 seconds of a British children's cartoon, it baffles me. Do you have literally nothing else going on in your lives that this is a big deal to you? Does it offend you so much? Does it upset you so much that there are lesbian polar bears? It is a perfectly normal, healthy relationship. They're bringing up a child together. It's not like, they've drawn them doing perverse, not safe for work things. It's a children's programme. Nowhere does it say, being lesbian is better than being straight. It is not promoting or singling anyone out. The whole point of the episode was to be inclusive. And I think that is what they've done. And they've done a very good job of doing it. I think this episode is amazing. And I can't wait to see more of Penny Polar Bear and her two mummies.
Peppa, George, get inside this instant. Your parmos are on the table and they're going cold.